Right then, it is The World According to Ali, episode 15. It's Sunday 17th of April 2016, and the questions are, got first one from Linda Johnson. Why do we get calluses when we use our hands every day? Surely the body would find a way to adapt and produce stronger skin to prevent this. I'll be honest, this question confuses me because the answer's in the question. Calluses are the stronger skin. Basically, that's the skin adapting to, what is happening to it, toughening up, and that's it really. The thing is what the way the calluses develop tend to be a bit uneven, which is what causes the problem. Calluses become a problem because the material of the skin, you've got a soft bit and then a hard bit, rather than them being uniformly hard. Like say, if you think about your feet, the tough skin on your feet generally is uniformly hard, and if you get like a callus or a corn or whatever, then it becomes a problem and you deal with it. And the hands are the same really. Calluses are just like a point of adaptation really. And a lot of it might be where, say, like if you're lifting weights, because of the nature of the material and the metal. Just watching some effort. It can cause the skin to put in the same repeated position. But callus is the adaptation. It is the stronger skin. Now the thing is sharp calluses aren't particularly good for lifting, and you get people that wear gloves. Best thing to do is get a chiropody sponge. You can get them off Amazon. They're like green and they're like sort of brittle sponge. And use a chiropody sponge on your calluses, and what that does is it stops the callus being so sharp, softens the skin up a bit, but keeps the skin tough, which is what you want. Because you don't want the skin to be hard and stiff and dry. You want the skin to be flexible for lifting, so it doesn't split. But yeah, that's it really, that's all I can say on that one. So, yeah. Right, question 2 from Justin Green. Last week you said that fat cannot be turned into muscle. Why? Yeah, maybe I didn't go through this properly. Because I think I mentioned it when I went off on one of my rants last week about alchemy, body alchemy, turning one thing into another. And why can't fat be turned into muscle? Just because of basic physiology, right? Cells, which is what we're talking about here, basics of human biology, or just biology in general, right? Cells already have a function designated to them, okay? And that's going to be written in your DNA. That's it really. And the way that cells are structured, they have their use, and that is what they are. So for example, cells that turn into hair are not going to turn into skin. Yeah? Cells that are designated fat cells, are not going to turn into muscle cells. Yeah? They either have the properties that they have designated to them by, the genomes, or they don't, and that's it. So the reason fat can't turn into muscle is because fat cells are fat cells, and that's it, right? And muscle cells are muscle cells, right? So you can change the cells, the properties of the cells themselves with the correct stimulus, but so for example, fat cells with an excess of energy will store a certain amount of energy, and then when that fat cell has got its maximum potential, it splits, hyperplasia, so you now have cell division. And this is one of the things about fat cells, right? And one of the dangers of becoming overweight, one of the consequences of becoming overweight is hyperplasia of the lipid cells. They go boop, 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 boop. So what that means is that if you've been overweight enough that you've you know, become excessively overweight and fat, then when you use that energy up, you lose the weight. The cells stick around. The only way to get rid of those cells permanently is actually liposuction, yeah? Where they remove the fat cells physically. But hyperplasia is a one-way process. You can then cause those cells to, you know, shrink, but they're still there, which means it's easier for them to then at a later stage fill up again, okay? So once you've become overweight, it's easier to become overweight again in the future, rather than go through the original process of hyperplasia of the fat cells. They're already there, waiting to feast. Yeah? So, but you can't turn them into fat cells because they are. You can't turn them into muscle cells because they are fat cells. The muscle cells are designated muscle cells. Now, I don't think there's actually any science at the moment that says that muscle cells can go through hyperplasia. But we all know what hypertrophy is, or well, we've heard of it anyway. Hypertrophy is cells increasing in size. And, you know, that's obviously what muscles go through certain types of stimulus and adaptation. And, you know, generally with that sort of stuff, you know, with hypertrophy, you've got two sort of types of hypertrophy. I might be starting to get a bit too technical on this. You might find this interesting. The general theory is that you've got myofibril hypertrophy, which is like the actual fibres themselves, which cause the contractual properties of the muscle, which generates force. And then you've got the sarcomeres, the sarcoplasmic type hypertrophy of the muscle, which is the energy substrates. And you know, people talk about the difference between people that, you know, do nothing but force production, like weightlifters and powerlifters, and they have denser muscle and that sort of stuff, and bodybuilders who do only energy type workouts, and so they have more, you know, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and so on and so forth. It's all a bit sketchy, that sort of stuff. But yeah, but that's why you can't turn fat into muscle, because at a cellular level, those are designated by your DNA, and they don't change. They are what they are. So the whole thing of like, you can take this supplement and turn fat into muscle is complete gobbledygook. Okay? So yeah, you can remove cells physically, and you can make cells split through certain processes, but you can't turn one cell into another. And that's it, really. I hope that was interesting. And hello, question 3 from Angela Owens. What made you get into doing what you do, health, fitness, mentoring, and start your own gym sort of stuff? Oh, fucking hell. That's a bit of a, why are you who you are? Why am I into physical culture? Why am I into gyms and what I do? And why do I like to train people? It's a deep-seated, deep-rooted into the core of my being kind of question. That. Go on, Jess, go on. There we go, yeah! Good effort. Stuff like that is, I guess, maybe a shallow part of it, seeing achievement, you know. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of this probably boils down to like where I come from as a little kid. See, I was raised by a pack of wolves. No, I wasn't really. No, I wasn't raised by wolves. But I didn't have a father figure growing up. And, you know, for whatever reasons, you know, didn't really have anyone to look up to. So the people that raised me from a childhood are the people that had an impact on me. For whatever reason I was raised by Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man comics as a kid, like, were the things that I like to read. And, you know, things like 2000 AD, Judge Dredd, stuff like that, you know. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, basically, so I was raised by people like Spider-Man, Slaying the Barbarian, Judge Dredd, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Lee. People's physical presence was, you know, how they made their impact, how they made the change, you know. Push forward more. Yeah, forward. And instead of being a film star or a comic book character, I decided to open a gym. And I've had this vision like all my life. When I was little, I thought, yeah, I want to have a gym. And all my working life, I've been like, yeah, my ultimate goal is to eventually have a gym, right? Yes! And there you go. Something I've been working towards my whole life. And that's just because of who raised me as a little kid, you know? And the way I saw it is they use their physicality to change their world, to influence people. And I'm doing the same, you know? Because I think the world fucking sucks, you know? It doesn't have to suck. This is the thing. There's so much opportunity and potential in the world, not just for exercise, for all things in your life. You know what? For whatever reason, the world fucking sucks. And I'm not happy with the world. So I'm gonna fucking change it, right? And you change the world by changing people. And you change people by giving them the opportunity and the potential to be what they can be. At the end of the day, really, once people get to this point that, you know, in their lives, they're not going to change, but they may become greater of what they are, you know? If someone generally fucking sucks, they're probably not going to stop being a fucking whatever. But if you've got people that, you know, there's a bit of potential there, or, you know, then that can be maximised. You can change, really change things, you know? So yeah, that's why I'm into what I'm doing. So I want to change the world. And I'm not a comic book hero, and I'm not a film star. So there you go. Yeah. And this is an integral part of what I do and how I express myself. And I probably couldn't do anything else, you know. So I might as well do this, because no one else can stand me. So yeah, there you go.